bayless. No-brainer transition there. Talk some Lakers now. They are going to be without LeBron for what they're hoping is just a few days. The 37-year-old do-everything superstar flew back to L.A. Saturday for treatment on his left knee. An MRI revealed some general swelling there. Didn't happen in a game or on a play, just something LeBron woke up with. 37. Frank Vogel said they'll wait for that swelling to subside before they consider his return. Hey, Broussard, with the Lakers sitting ninth in the West, is LeBron's injury a big deal or no big deal?
Yeah, look, Nick, you and I both are huge LeBron's fans. I'm just the more objective one, but we both love LeBron. I hope it's not a big deal.
So blinded
But I
by
think it is
loyalty.
a big deal. I think it is a big deal. And I've talked to somebody close to this situation. They said, you know, there's discomfort. It's not a huge, serious injury. But this is a big deal nonetheless because this is age. This is Father Time knocking on LeBron's door. And that's all this is. And the issue is, it just seems like nowadays with LeBron, because of, as Jenna said, his age, 37 years old, 19th season, 3+ seasons worth of playoff games on his body, that if it's not one injury, it's another. In 3 of the 3.5 seasons that he's played with the Lakers, he's had a serious season-ending, or not ending, but season-altering injury. All right? And even though the Lakers are saying it's not that big of a deal, we've heard this before. Back his first year with the Lakers, I'll read you a headline from Associated Press, December 26, 2018. LeBron James groin injury, not serious. He's day-to-day. He missed the next 17 games, eventually shut down the whole season. This is just unfortunate, but this is age. And if LeBron, when he comes back, I'm going to be, unfortunately, waiting for something else to happen down the road. LeBron, the most games he's ever played straight with the Lakers, 36. And that came at the beginning of the season. He's played 34 and 29 at the beginning of the other 3 seasons. And it all happened at the beginning of the season after a summer's worth of rest. The one season he got through unscathed was what? The bubble year where you had 4 months off to get your body right. And so, unfortunately, this is the challenge of age. And so, Nick, I do think it's a big deal. Look, some people might think, you know what? Play LeBron sparingly during the regular season, just enough to get to the playoffs.
Can't afford to.
And then when you get there, let him go.
No.
But they're only 19 and 17 with him. They wouldn't have time to develop any sort of chemistry.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big deal.
I agree with that. So I don't think it's a big deal because you said 3 of the 3.5 seasons he's had a major injury. I don't think that's right. I think 2 of them. I don't think he's had a major injury this year. I think that what he has dealt with this year,
but
he has missed time with because he's 37. And by that, I mean this. I think they are being extra cautious with him because of his age. LeBron has suffered 2 significant injuries in his career. 3, if you count the time he broke his hand. I heard it was almost a compound fracture after game 1 of the finals. He valiantly played through it, but set that aside. After the J.R. Smith game, Wildes remembers that vividly. However, he has suffered 2 injuries. I don't know what you're laughing about, buddy. Laughing about injuries. That's real classy.
No, I'm not.
One, there's a wet spot on the floor in Golden State, and people will be like, oh, soft tissue injuries. That's the sign of age. The problem is, he hasn't suffered anything similar to that since then. So it's not like he has had a spate of soft tissue injuries. And the other, the worst injury he has suffered, was thanks to Circus Solomon Hill doing his trapeze act on the court, somersaulting into his ankle. That could have happened to literally anybody.
It gets more dramatic every time.
Well, that's what happened. We have the video of it.
Nick,
Again, I don't know what Wildes thinks is so
are
funny.
you saying...
Yeah.
Are you saying there's no connection with age to these injuries? LeBron was an Iron Man for the first, 16, 17 years of his career.
No.
There's no doubt it's age-related.
No, he is not as invincible as he once was, and the team is smartly not asking him the way the Cavs would have or the Heat would have. Hey, can you play through it? They are being extra cautious because he's played the third most minutes of anyone in the history of the game. I understand all of that. What I am saying is, though, we talk about father time. Two things usually happen when father time Wildes is approaching you. One is the increased injury rate. We're seeing that. The other is you're not as good. LeBron is scoring at the best rate he has scored at maybe in his career when you take all things into consideration, certainly in the last 10 years. When you watch LeBron, do you say, oh, that's a shell of his former self? No. Even the late, great Kobe, before the Achilles injury, which was really the beginning of the end, you saw atrophy in his game by shooting percentage, by really every metric you could look at in the weeks, months, and couple years leading up to it. Well, you saw it with Kareem, obviously. You saw it with Karl Malone, the only guys who have played more minutes than LeBron. You're not seeing it with LeBron. And so, listen, he's never missed a playoff game. I don't think he's going to start this season. So, no, I don't think them being extra cautious about his knee is a big deal. I think the Lakers have far bigger deals. I don't think LeBron's, knee swelling is one of them, Wildes.
Okay, so stay here. LeBron's numbers are great.
I'd love to.
Except for 30% of the Lakers games in which he scores 0 because he doesn't play. So, not great. And I think that right now, we probably should do, I don't know if we should pull the lever here on this extreme situation, but I think we should have a meeting about it. And by we, I mean us and Lakers management, LeBron's team. LeBron will be there. We're going to pro bono. No fee. We're going to waive our fee. But here's the idea. LeBron, you've missed 30% of the games. When you playing awesome. I don't know if you saw first things first. Broussard said the last time you played a long stretch is either at the beginning of the year after a long break or the bubble after a long break. Do you think it's worth a discussion to take this second half of the year doing something close to shutting it down so you can run through the playoffs and have no question that you're going to be at 100%? Sneak into the play-in game and then turn LeBron loose and let him go.
So here's the problem with that. I think, Brew, that's one of the reasons they traded for Russ, was so if they wanted to give LeBron extended rests, that they thought, okay, Russ and AD we won't be great, but we can tread water. That has not yet, come to fruition. And so the Lakers, are they at risk of missing the play-in? Not really. But if we're being honest, they would far prefer be the 7 than the 8. You don't want to be in that 9-10 spot in the play, because then you're getting Phoenix in round 1. I think the Lakers feel good about their chances against Golden State if that's who they get in round 1. But so I don't think they have the ability, because of all the blown leads, because of the missed time already, to give LeBron a month off. But I do want to ask, I want to ask you this, Brew, because I think you agree with me on that you can't shut him down. Other than, if we're saying, we have to look at LeBron as an injury concern now. Other than Giannis, is there a superstar in the league we don't? So, Steph, we found out his shooting slump was because something was wrong with his feet. Just a couple years ago, he missed the whole year with a hand injury. Again, LeBron had the exact same injury, played the rest of the finals. Set that aside, but Steph missed the whole year. Embiid's obviously an injury risk. Jokic could miss games any time if he, shoves another guy in the back. I guess that's someone else's injury.
He's an Iron Man,
he's, a candidate for suspension at all times. What? Oh, it didn't happen? Is Markieff Morris playing yet? Someone tell me. Tell me who the guy in Kevin Durant. What's Kevin Durant doing right now? Is Durant so Jokic and Giannis, every other star in the league's an injury risk? If we're saying that, then yeah, LeBron's on that list. He's not right now as durable in Jokic and Giannis. But who is the super durable guy other than those two guys?
Now, look, that's fair, but there's a difference in you could get hurt and suffer an injury and you getting hurt because of age. Like some other part of your body just betraying you because of the wear and tear on your body. That's a big difference to me. So I agree. Obviously, Kevin Durant is injury prone. James Harden could get hurt. Kyrie, we know about him, even, if he weren't playing every game. So I feel you on that. But with LeBron, it's age, which I think is wildly different. Wildes, look, maybe you don't shut him down And maybe do you consider just playing him, like I said earlier, sparingly, just enough to get into the playoffs? And, you know, I agree with you, Nick. I don't want to face Golden State, but at this point, I'd rather face them than Phoenix because Phoenix has size. One thing the Lakers have over Golden State is size. But it's either way, it's just a tough proposition because of LeBron's age, and that's why I think it's a big deal, Jim.
And to your point on age, Broussard, Vogel did say that